Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. We just got in a really nice panel. Here's the panel with all these cute little animals on it. So we are going to make this up into a baby quilt. All we need is one of the panels and some 5-inch charm squares. So let's go down to the studio and get started. So let's get one of these panels off of the bolt and we'll take a look at it. Every panel's a little bit different. A lot of times they run about 23 inches, 24 inches, and that's how big this guy is here. So here's the whole panel. It's a little bit skinny for a baby quilt. Really cute, but I want to add something on each side of this panel so the proportions are better for an actual quilt. We're going to use the charm squares to make the quilt bigger. So we're going to make some half square triangles, and then we're going to stitch those together again and make more half square triangles. So we're going to get a nice block. I'm going to go ahead and pair these up so I will get two different looking fabrics. So I'm going to have some contrast in each block, and I may trade around a little bit. These are all looking good. So now we're going to take the lighter ones from this pair and we're going to draw a line right along the middle of the back on the diagonal. I'm just using a number 2 pencil and drawing a light line, but you can use chalk or whatever marking tool you like. So mark on the back of the light of every pair. Now we're going to make half square triangles with these guys. So line everything up and stitch a 1/4 inch away from each side of your drawn line. I like to iron these before I cut them because sometimes your stitching will pucker it up a teeny bit. Now I'm going to use scissors right here. You can use your rotary cutter if you want. So the idea is to cut right along that line, put the light side down, peel it open, hand press it a little bit, then use your iron, and do that for both of these squares. Now we're going to take these 2 squares, we're going to turn one around, and we're going to put them right sides together so the seams are lined up, they're kind of nested, and we are going to draw a line going the opposite direction here from corner to corner. And we're going to use our same half square triangle method. Now because my seam allowances are sewn different directions here, I can feel that these seams all the way along here are nesting. They're right up next to themselves, right in the middle here. And I'm going to do half square triangle method again, but that seam in the middle, it's going to meet. And that's important because after we cut these, we will get a nice intersection there. So again, you can iron it a teeny bit before you cut and cut right along that line. Now when we open this up, now you can see what I'm talking about. See how that intersection right there, they meet just perfectly. And we have a really cute little block. The blocks are all stitched. I took all the dog ears off, so every block is nice and neat. And basically, you just want to get a nice blend of colors, kind of alternate dark and light. And we're going to use 11 of them, and we're going to stitch them together into one long border. Once the blocks are all laid out, you want to pick them up in order and don't spin them, and we'll take them right over to the machine and stitch them together. Now that all the blocks are sewn together, I've already finger pressed all of the seams going one direction. So here's how I like to iron it. I'm going to pull it this way because the seam allowances are all going that way. And I'm going to make sure it's pretty straight. And I'm just going to draw my hand down here before I iron it, because that way I can tell that I don't have it real crooked along the edge here. So I'm going to now put my iron down, smooth it this way, iron it dry, and I'm kind of stretching it and getting all that excess out. Then once it's nice and flat, then steam it. Now that the border is ironed nice and flat, I'm going to center it up on the panel here. So I've just laid it down, and I'm going to want to cut off a little bit of the panel on each end, the same amount. That's why I'm centering it. So I'm going to cut this right here, and I'm going to cut the same amount on the other end. I always have to cut some off of the panel because I don't want this selvage. It has writing. It also pulls up a little bit. That's why I always center the border up and then cut. Now my panel is not perfectly straight here, and the printing doesn't come all the way to the edge. So I'm also going to slice off the sides nice and straight. Now they're exactly the same length. I'm just going to stick a couple of pins in here and take it over to the sewing machine and stitch it on. It looks much better now. The panel is so cute, but having these patchwork borders on the sides really balances it, and it ties in with the borders that are on the top and the bottom. And I think that the quilt will look a lot better if we put one more printed border all the way around the edge in kind of a plainer fabric. All right, I'm thinking one of these plainer fabrics, this one would be really nice, and that will frame everything nicely. I'm going to cut a 3-inch border out of this aqua, and it's going to go all the way around the quilt. Now I used one package of charm squares, 40 squares, and I got the border for the quilt, but I also have these darling little extra squares, and I'm going to make up a little baby pillow with the extras. That will be really cute. In the meantime, I'm going to finish the quilt, and we'll get it on the quilting machine, and then we'll pick some threads and show you how that goes. I have the little panel quilt on the quilting machine, and I've got some thread colors that I think will look good with it. I really just want to make sure the thread isn't going to show up too much. So I'm afraid that this orangey one, it matches, but I think it's going to fight with the patterns a little bit. The aqua would be nice, and that you can see, you can hardly see that on any of the patterns there. The silver, we've got silver in the quilt, and I think that that's going to be the least obtrusive, so that's the color I'm going to use. Now for the quilting pattern, we have this really nice jungle pattern, but since the quilt is already busy and the back is a print, I think that's going to be too much. So I am going to go with what we call scribble. It just looks like someone scribbled all over it, but I think that's going to not show up very much, and it looks like a child might have drawn it, and I think that'll look really good on the baby quilt. Here's our panel baby quilt. It's about 34 by 45 inches. It's a nice size for a baby. It's really fun with that quilting and the patchwork border. Just a nice size, great for a baby shower gift. Now the little pillow that matches, these were just our extra squares, the extra squares from the border. It's a nice 12-inch pillow, and I just stuffed it with fiber fill, loose fiber fill, and then I just hand stitched it closed, and you can wash the whole pillow because we know baby items need to be washed a whole lot. Thanks for watching our tutorial today on how to make the panel baby quilt. We hope you enjoyed it. Now we're going to have a giveaway. We're going to give away this Holiday Flourish table runner. This is a table runner that I made out of one of the kits that Matt cut. These are beautiful Christmas fabrics from Robert Kaufman. They have metallic accents, beautiful poinsettia on the back, and entering is really easy. Here's all you have to do. Go to our website and click on Giveaway. Then click on the Enter button. Put in your email address and name, and that's all there is to it. Now this is open to everyone worldwide, so be sure to enter so you have a chance to win the table runner. Good luck.